Hey guys, so I have to apologize because I had said that I was going to wait and do a video the next time I set up spawn tanks and do a vlog about, picking pairs out and all that. But I got too antsy, and so over the weekend I finally got my spawn rack, my spawn tank rack all cleaned up and kind of reset. During the whole velvet debacle, I kind of ignored all these tanks. And I mean, I was doing water changes for the fish that had tanks in them, or the tanks that had fish in them rather. But the ones that didn't, they were kind of just sitting there. So I had to kind of reset everything. I had to move some sponge filters around because I let some just dry out, which, would obviously kill the cycle. So got everything kind of set back up. And I put 8 pairs in, which is probably the most I've ever done at one time. I normally set up, like 4, sometimes 6 pairs because I expect about half to actually spawn. That just seems to be my spawn success rate. I may get more that actually spawn, but usually I have one that ends up eating the eggs or eating the fry or whatever. So, but 8 is the most I've ever done. And I did a video yesterday because I had a couple pairs spawning yesterday, and for whatever reason I accidentally deleted that video, so I apologize for that. So won't be able to show you guys any wrapping or anything, but I can show you we have eggs, and we have a couple that the fry hatched today. So I had 2 pairs spawn on Monday, which was Memorial Day. Then I had 3 pairs spawn yesterday, which was Tuesday, and today is Wednesday, and I had 1 more pair spawn. That's 2 pairs left that have not spawned, and I am going to separate them today, just because in my experience, if they don't spawn within like 48 hours, 72 hours, 2 to 3 days, usually they're not going to spawn. They're not ready. They're not compatible. The tank is too big. There's something wrong. Sometimes if you leave them together longer, they'll spawn. But the majority of the cases, if they haven't spawned within 2 days, they're not going to spawn. So we'll take a quick look at the pairs. And obviously the ones that are covered, they have fathers with eggs or fry, and I keep the tanks covered to kind of try to keep them calm. I don't want them to get stressed out. If they see a lot of movement, sometimes they can get stressed out. They can get scared. They start moving the fry around, and sometimes it can make them eat the eggs and fry if they don't feel safe. So we'll take a look at what we have here. This is one of the pairs that hasn't spawned, which I'm kind of disappointed about. I really want fry from this pair, but this is the second time I've tried them, and it's possible that I'm not gonna get fry from this pair. I might just have to give up and try a different female for this male. You can see this he's a gorgeous male. I picked him up at the Eastern Betta Society show. Actually picked the female up there too. They're not related. You can see the male, it's hard to see in the tinted water, but he's got a green body, and then he's got those yellow marbled fins. Gorgeous male. The female's a copper. And like I said, I tried these guys before. They didn't spawn. I had them in a 10-gallon tank, so I decided to try a 5-gallon tank, and they still haven't spawned. He's trying. You can see he's got an absolutely huge nest. It's covering that entire leaf. But she's not coming out. I do know that she was ready because she started dropping some eggs in the cup before I released her. But so far, she's just hiding back there. She's shown no interest in coming out. So if they haven't spawned by the end of today, I'm going to take them out. I'll let them eat really well for a few days, and then I'll decide if I'm going to give him a different female or try them in a smaller tank with less hiding spots, or what I'm going to do. But yeah, kind of disappointed. This male is doing everything he can to try to get that female to come under the spawn, or come under the nest. and she's just not having it. So more than likely what I'm going to do is give up on that female, at least for this male, and try a different female. And sometimes they can just not like the fish they're with. I know that sounds like it's anthropomorphizing them, but in my experience, I have seen fish that just don't like each other, and they'll breed with other fish, but they won't breed with each other. So, but like I said, we'll give them another day, or at least the rest of today, and then this evening, if they still haven't spawned, I'm probably going to separate them and do some more thinking about what I want to do with them. But hopefully they'll come out. You can see she's there hiding behind the sponge filter. I considered taking the sponge filter out, and I'm still kind of weighing if I'm going to do that or not. So I guess I'll decide after I finish making this video if I'm going to take the sponge filter out. Sometimes providing them with too many hiding places can be a bad thing, and they just decide that they're going to stay back there and not breed. So anyway, that's the first pair. This is the second pair. This is a veil tail male. Sorry for the glare. But I did not have a veil tail female, and because I wasn't sure if I really wanted to devote my time and money to breeding veil tails, I didn't want to import a female. So what I did was I have females. I've already pulled the female out, actually. She's up here. She obviously got torn up quite a bit. But I have females from an orange spawn. Now she's a bad yellow, so she's very pale yellow. But you can probably tell even with the fin damage, she's not a half moon. Her mother was a half moon, her dad was a double tail, but she has a very asymmetrical appearance to her. She's not a good candidate for a half moon line, but she will work with this male to create veil tails. She's not a veil tail, she's probably what you might consider a delta or a round tail, but because she has so low branching and she doesn't have that big wide tail like half moon has, I felt confident in spawning them and using them to work toward a veil tail line. But you can see here they just spawned. I took her out right before I started the video. They took 2 days to spawn. Actually 3 days. Today's the third day. That's right. So it took them 3 days to spawn. I put them together on Sunday and they didn't spawn until Wednesday, but you can see there's the eggs. This guy's really pretty. He's like black and orange, but he has a little bit of kind of like a bluish purplyish pattern to him as well. So kind of an experimental spawn. We'll see what we get. And if I enjoy raising these guys and I get decent results, I'll probably continue to breed veil tails. If I don't like them, then, you know, at least I could say I tried them. The thing about veil tails is even more so than half moons, they take a long time to finish out. Because their fins just take so long to grow and get that droop and that classic veil tail look to them. And patience is not one of my virtues. So I'm not sure if this is going to be a tail type I want to continue or not, but I wanted to try it out. So excited to see what comes from those guys. And I'm going to go ahead and cover him up since his female's out and let him chill out with his eggs. Over here, I spawned a crown tail pair. You can see that grumpy guy right there. If you follow my Facebook page, you will have seen his picture. I posted it at some point last week, but don't know if we're going to be able to see the eggs. He's got them kind of tucked up under there really good. Let's see. Ooh. Yeah, can't really see them. I can see them if I look, but I can't get the angle with the camera and the flashlight to show you guys, but he does still have eggs. It looks like he may have eaten some of them, but that's not uncommon, especially with a fish that's never bred before. A lot of times they don't fertilize the eggs that are dropped in those first few embraces, and so they'll eat those eggs. This guy is one that spawned on Monday. He was one of the first 2 to spawn. And he's kind of funny. He's decided to move into this cup. I had the females floating in these cups while I finished getting everybody set up. And then before I turned the lights out, I went ahead and released all the females. And I just dumped the cups over. And by the time I had released the females, this male had started attaching his bubble nest to this cup. So instead of taking the cup all the way out, I just turned it over, which is why that cup is still in there. But he's decided he likes it in that cup. And if we look closely, I'm not sure if it's going to show up on camera, but he actually has some of his fry in that cup. It's kind of hard to see it. So, I don't think there's very many fry with this male. He might still have some back here too, but it didn't look like there was many eggs to start with, and I don't see many fry, so it's a small spawn, but I don't really mind that. This guy was one that came in that mystery box I bought a couple weeks ago, or maybe it was only a week ago now, I'm not sure. And so he's not, while I was excited to breed him, he's not one that I was really, what's the word? High on the priority list, I guess. So I'll be happy with whatever fry I get from him. I'm not sad that it's not a big spawn by any means. But hopefully he's a good dad. And what I'll probably do with this small spawn is I'll mix it with, you know, the veil tails. You can see he's catching fry that are falling from this little nest he's trying to build in there. There's one trying to get back up. But what I'll do is I'll mix these guys with the veil tail spawn or the crown tails, something where I could easily tell them apart, even if they're similar in color. So that's that guy. Up here, this guy spawned yesterday. He still has his eggs. This is kind of a pink butterfly, pink red. The breeder calls them lavenders. I don't know that I would call them lavender because they just don't look like lavender to me, but you can see he's got his eggs there. This male is not one that builds a good bubble nest. So he's kind of just got them clumped, and he's got like just a few bubbles to keep them stuck up there. And you can see some are just kind of floating at the surface. But these guys spawned yesterday. These guys will produce double tails as well, so I'm excited about that. Then if we move over here, this is actually the sibling to this male. He's a pastel. He's one I tried to spawn, or actually did spawn before, and unfortunately the fry died when I had that velvet incident. So I repeated the spawn with the same female. She looks just like him. She's a pastel. And if I can zoom in on these guys, he's the other one that spawned on Monday, so he has fry up there as well. So you can see them again. Not a very good bubble nest from these guys, but this guy is a good father. He takes care of the fry. So I'm not complaining that there's not a good bubble nest there. You can see the fry are kind of stuck at the surface everywhere. So again, these guys will produce similar to the one over there. I'm going to get butterflies, I'm going to get double tails, pastels, and those kind of pinky colored fish that are really cute. So I'm really excited about that one. The form is excellent on those two. So I'm really excited to see what comes from those spawns. These two are another pair that did not spawn. They tried to wrap on Monday and didn't produce any eggs, and it looked like they were going to try again, but today it's looking like they're not going to spawn. You can see that male's gotten a little bit torn up, which shows me that the female is getting frustrated. So I'm going to go ahead and separate them. Sorry about the glare, I know it's hard to see. I'm going to go ahead and separate them, and I'll put a different pair in this spawn tank, and probably end up trying this female with a larger male who won't have as hard of a time wrapping her. And then finally, our 8th pair are the ones so many people were excited about when I showed them in the unboxing video. It's the greens, the green half moons, and I know it's going to be insanely hard to see this guy because the water's tinted and it's a weird angle and it's got glare, but there he is. His leaf sank, unfortunately, even though it was attached to bubble wrap, but you can see there he's got all his eggs stuck to the cup. Again, I left this cup in there because he had attached his nest to it, and when his leaf sank, he just moved all his eggs to a new nest, attached it to the cup again. So really excited about that spawn as well. So that's all of them. I'm going to go ahead and cover him back up. Need to get that girl into her jar. As you can see, I've got my microworms going. I need to reculture my vinegar eels, so I'll have vinegar eels going, so I can start feeding these fry. The 2 that were spawned on Monday, this guy in here, and then these greens down here, they'll be free swimming and ready to eat tomorrow. And then the other ones with eggs will be free swimming the next day. And then this veil tail will be the last one. It'll be free swimming on Saturday, I guess. Because usually what happens is they lay the eggs. And depending on what temperature, they hatch in about 24 hours. And then 24 hours after that, they're free swimming. And that's when you can start feeding them and everything. So I just noticed my 4 she females out over here, so we're going to try to sneak up on her. These guys are a wild species. They're related to Beta rubra, but they're very skittish, and I hardly ever see them. I actually haven't seen the male in a couple days, and normally he's right out here begging for food, so I'm hoping that means that he's holding. They have not bred for me in a really long time. And what I did was I put peat moss in this corner filter, which is going to help lower the pH. And ever since I did that, they've seemed a lot happier. And so I'm hoping he's back there hiding somewhere. There's a ton of mulm from Indian almond leaf in there, and it's just super dark in there. I can't see him at all. So hopefully he's in there and hasn't died or anything, and hopefully he's holding eggs. I'm not going to go snooping through that tank and try to find him because I don't want to disrupt him if he's holding the eggs. So fingers crossed, because I really want fry from those guys. So anyway, that's a quick update on what's going on. Let's see, today's Wednesday, correct? I'll try to do another video for Friday, but no promises. We'll just see how the day goes. Well, I'll try to show you guys when some of these fry start free swimming and me giving them their first meals. If you haven't seen some of my older videos how I set up my spawn tanks, you can see that I do keep filters in, and I keep them running at all times. And you can see it's not going at a trickle, it's actually going pretty good. With this style filter is really nice because I can adjust the flow so it kind of falls back over the sponge, making it very still, because you don't want a lot of current when the bettas are spawning. I also use these kind of small normal style sponge filters, and looks like that one got turned off, but normally they're going as well, very slowly, and though it is creating a little bit of surface movement, it's not creating enough to disrupt the males from keeping a bubble nest. So I do like to keep sponge filters going at all times. I don't find it's disruptive to the males or the fry. I keep a lot of live plants. I have guppy grass in here and a little bit of duckweed. I'll add more duckweed when I remove the male once the fry are free swimming, because it's a great place for the fry to hide. It provides infusoria, microorganisms that the fry can eat, and it sucks out nitrates. So I'm one of those people that actually really loves duckweed, and as an added bonus, my goldfish love to eat it, so I'm never overrun by it. If I get too much duckweed, I can just feed it off. So that's basically how my tanks are set up. Heater, I try to keep the temperature 82 to 86. Little bit of mulch in the bottom from almond leaves. That's going to provide, again, places for infusoria and microorganisms to grow that the fry will feed on when they're very small. They'll be able to hide in there too and feel secure. And it also releases humic acids, which help lower the pH and all that. So all good stuff. I also have snails. I don't see any, but I always keep a couple ram's horn snails in the tank too with the fry. So that's basically how I set up my spawns there. So we'll go ahead and I'm gonna get these two pairs out, or at least this one where the male's getting chewed up. I'm gonna get them out. I might give those guys the rest of today to spawn. You can see he's really trying. He's not chasing the female. He's not being aggressive. He goes up to her, he flares, and then he goes back to his nest. He's trying to get her to follow him. And she's just like, whatever, dude. I don't care about you. Poor guy. So I'll give them the rest of the day. If they don't spawn, maybe this female will spawn with him. She's one that I've bred. Hard to see without the lights on, but she has a butterfly pattern like he does, so she may be a possibility. So alright guys, that's it for today. Like I said, I'll try to do a video again like Friday maybe, or maybe I'll take one tomorrow and Friday and do kind of like a compilation thing, but I'll definitely keep you updated. Hopefully all these spawns do well and we can start seeing some babies again. I really miss it when I don't have babies. So alright, tell everybody bye, Squirt. Okay, see you next time, guys.